All right, everybody, welcome back. We got a trade recap. This was a trade taken on the futures. I had made the post at around 11:30 this morning. You can see here in the futures Discord chat about 11:21. I pointed out this 5-minute chart on the NASDAQ. And what I'm looking at is a 5-minute chart with a 50-line crossover. That's what I wanted to see. That orange line is the 50-period SMA. This is a common trade setup for me. What I wanted to see is a crossover of that 50 and then a long trade opportunity, right? So the area here in blue, that was regular trading hours. I know it says 8:30, but this broker uses my time frame, not market time, and I live 1 hour behind the market. So the market opens at 9:30, but this broker shows 8:30, and I have it shaded in blue so that I know where the regular trading hours session starts later on in the day. If I go back and look at pictures, I don't have to try to discern where that is. I can just see it looking at it in blue. So I put this trade alert out, and it's a common trade alert for me. This is exactly the kind of trade that I like to take when we've been in a clear uptrend for a while. So let's go out to a regular chart for a moment and kind of look at this in better detail. Here's the 5-minute. We want to add the SMA. I'm going to go ahead and add 2. So we're going to use moving average 2 lines. We'll set one of these to the 20, and the other one we will set to the 50. And as you can see, we've been in a really good uptrend, right? And then today, after we had that blow off top, we faded down, and it wasn't looking, really bearish, right? So the idea was, let's look for a 50-line cross. When I posted that picture, it was still earlier in the day. It was around 11:30. It looked like we may get that cross at this point. And that's what I was looking for. But we didn't get it there. We actually didn't get it until late in the day. And I do not trade in this time frame. That's power hour. I really just want to avoid that situation. So I stood aside. I didn't trade that. And it was a little bit of a bonus, right? Because we did get above 50, but that 20 had not yet crossed, and it got a little violent going into the close. So since I didn't trade any of that, I didn't get caught up in that mess. And then when the market opened up at 6 o'clock, that's when I got in. All right. So you can see the post here in the Discord at 11:21, 5-minute chart, 50 SMA, looking for a crossover. And this is called a reciprocation play. We're looking to run this or reciprocate back up to our previous level. Now that's not what we got, right? The whole day went by, the trade never materialized, but the setup was still there. So we scroll down, and at 6 o'clock, I know it says 5, right? But again, that's my time frame. At 5 o'clock here, or at 6 o'clock, the trading session is done. The globex opens back up, right? It's 6 o'clock, the market's open. We're above that 50. The 20 has crossed above that 50, and I went ahead and went long. Now, I generally leave the office around this time frame, so I was being a little generous. I was actually willing to build a position in this area and look for a run back up to the 650 between now and tomorrow. So if I was to have taken any heat here, I wasn't going to use a tight stop. I was going to go ahead and build a position anywhere above that rounding, 16,500. So my entry is 2150. That's 16521. 16,521 half. That's where I got in. And I was willing to ride this to the downside, accumulating more entries at that range between 16,521 and 16,500. And you know, I'm willing to take multiple contracts here, just keeping the risk small. You know, it's the MNQ. I was going to be away from the computer. Every 1 point is $2 of risk. So, you know what I mean? It's not a lot of risk. It's more of the setup than anything else. Because if I was going to be at the computer and actively sitting here willing to trade, I wouldn't have used the micro. I would have used the mini. And this setup, I mean, it works everywhere. The size of the risk is completely up to you. You could size up, use a different product, you know, use the NASDAQ instead of the micro. We wouldn't be looking at, you know, 25 points with a mini. We'd be looking at it with as many mini contracts as you want, right? So I post the entry. I let everybody know we got above that 50 line on the 5-minute, but we were too close to the end of day, so I had to wait. The market's open. I got in around the 22. It's a pivot minor of the NASDAQ, and that I would be willing to build this trade out. And then I reminded everybody, notice I'm on the micros. It's because I'm looking for a low risk opportunity, not looking for that risk to get too big. And we had an inverse head and shoulders coming into the afternoon. You can see that here in the picture, right? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So everything was looking really bullish. Price crossed the 50, 20 crossed the 50, inverse head and shoulders. We're ready to go. So I take the trade, take a little bit of heat. The market starts working in the right direction. I swap to mobile because I'm no longer at the computer. And at some point I came back in and moved my stop up. Now there's no excuses, right? When it comes to getting stopped out, it happens to all of us. There's no reason to say anything more than that, but I was multitasking. I got a little too close and it wicked me out and then continued to run away without me. My price target in this trade was 16,550. So when we got around the 33 mark, I went ahead and brought my stop up, and I'm telling you, it wasn't even a minute later, price dipped down, smacked me out, and continued to run away. But you can see we did hit my target. 16,550 was the target, and 16,550 is what we got. All right, so that is the trade. Got in when the market opened at 6 o'clock, ran it to the 50, and got it back out again. Okay, if I had not stopped myself out, that would have been my exit. Just a nice, simple, clean trade review. Reason for the trade, the call out on it, what we were looking for, where we were looking for it to go, where my entry was, where my exit was. Guys, that's the whole in the bulk and the short and sweet of it. This is just a typical everyday trade. Put these trades on all the time. If you're interested in trades like this, watch the futures chat, or you know, the futures trade alerts, and I'll see you guys there.